What's up, everybody? I know it's been a while since I've posted a podcast, but work's been really getting busy and it's been a blessing to finally have some shows lined up. But I'm really excited for today's podcast. Today's guest on the Roost is a longtime friend. He's from around my hometown, Lafayette, Louisiana, and he's an even older friend of my roommate, Brad. So I had Brad on the podcast too, and we really had a good time. I enjoyed this podcast a lot. He's an up and coming country artist, and he's been taking trips to Nashville more frequently to write with people and network, and it's been really great seeing him around town. So I hope you enjoy this conversation with Clay Cormier.
What's going on, y'all?
Well, yeah,
Thank
dude.
you for having me, dude.
Absolutely, man.
Been looking forward to coming on here.
Yeah. No, it's really cool to see you coming out to Nashville, man. It's like I was telling Brad last night, it was like a crossover episode seeing you in Bourbon Boogie.
I had a blast last night, yo. That
Yeah.
was a really, really cool moment.
Yeah.
It was and I was very excited to come watch y'all do y'all thing because I haven't seen Bradley play
Mm.
in years,
Yeah.
probably. And I don't know, Pablo, if I ever saw you play even back home, to be honest. We're always
Yeah.
just playing on the weekends, so I never get to really go out and do stuff. So
Yeah.
that was fun, man.
Yeah, that's a nice spot. I mean, it's kind of a interesting jam because you don't always get to pick who you're playing with, and
Right.
sometimes that can kind of mess up the vibe. But it's still a great place. I mean, you have all kind of cats in there. Like you got the Broadway cats in there. Sometimes you got some writers in there. The bass player we were playing with is a writer
Okay.
too. And then that singer we met on Broadway too, and all that.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
no, it's a cool spot, man, and it's it's that club is like I just want to play there so bad. It's bourbon, it's like Louisiana themed. I feel like it's so us. I feel like we could really rock that stage.
It's gonna happen, dude. You just gotta keep showing face like
Yeah.
you're already doing. But I think the coolest thing that I saw last night was when Bradley went and played with those guys.
Oh yeah.
How nice they were to
Mhm.
him, before and after, and they're just obviously open to letting whoever go up there and play. But there was no like, oh, we're the high caliber band, like we
Yeah.
want just our guys up here. Like,
Yeah.
it was
Yeah.
and when you got done, Bradley, they were just shaking your hand and super pumped to have you. Bradley, stop staring at the screen over there.
Yeah, I'm the edit guy, so I'm trying to. This is my first time being on the video podcast and kind of doing this
Oh, okay.
job at the same time.
Cool.
But yeah, I was like, yeah, I'll be part of this conversation just because boys from back home.
Who's the guy on Joe Rogan's podcast?
Jamie, young
You're
Jamie.
Jamie.
Yeah, I'll be the new Jamie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah,
The one with the fucked up Cajun accent. Sorry, y'all.
but yeah, I figured y'all had a lot of stories together and a lot of stuff y'all could.
Yeah, we got a lot of shit.
So did we meet at Maca?
Yeah, technically, yeah. We sure
went
did.
to Magnet Academy for Cultural Arts.
Oh,
is
wow.
what the school was. Yeah, I went for singing. Bradley went for band.
Yep.
And yeah, that was a interesting time. I was Huckleberry Finn in the play over there.
Oh, whoa.
But then we ended up going to high school together, and I get so proud when I meet people and we're in the same room together, and I get to tell them that not only did we graduate together, but you were my first drummer, and
Mm-hmm.
started
Yeah.
this whole thing together. It was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Shit, yeah. I'm
Yeah.
proud of that too.
Yeah,
It's almost like a full circle moment.
it is. It is.
Yeah.
So
Dude, what was it like putting like that first band together? Like I think everyone who kind of dreams about being a musician or whatever gets that feeling of putting that first band together, and to see you come from where you started to here, like obviously you put in a ton of work. So what was kind of like that first band like?
Well, it's funny because when I started playing, I was doing acoustic stuff, and I remember I was like, "Wow, this is like pretty good money,"
Mm-hmm.
And so my dad was like, "Man, you want to put a band together?" And I was like, "Absolutely not! Like,
Yeah.
I want to make this money myself."
Yeah.
And me and Bradley, and our principal at the time, and our buddy Sterling Richard, we performed our high school graduation song.
Oh, nice.
And it's funny because I just pulled that video up the other day. But after that, me and Bradley talked, and we were like, "We have a jam session at JC's in Paconya is the town that it was called. And he's like, man, you should come out there. Like me and my dad, we go play it. And I might have went and did like 3, 4 songs, and I was sold. I'm like, oh yeah, we have to start
Mm-hmm.
doing a band.
Yeah.
And I called Nick Latchley up to be our guitarist, and that was it. We ran a 4-piece for a little while, and then Alex Touchette
Yeah.
came play accordion with us.
Oh wow.
And so, dude, after that, like we were playing in Sunset and Orneville and
Yeah.
Leonville, and man, like I'm not gonna lie, all of our friends were coming out, and we were just kind of packing out places and stuff.
Whoa.
It was fun.
It was
bro.
dope.
It was like
Yeah.
that's before all of our friends had kids and girlfriends and stuff, so they were just all getting ignorant. But it was fun, dude. We really had a great time doing it, and I know, man, just it's hard to see the growth when you don't get to look back at where you started from.
Yeah.
So me just talking about this right now, it's like
Yeah.
I guess you just constantly working and focusing on what is next and what all you have to get done, that you don't get to really sit down and appreciate
Yeah.
just exactly what you've got done over the past couple of years, you know.
Absolutely.
So I think it's been 11 years, Bradley, this month
Yeah.
that since we started that band.
That's crazy.
Yep.
Damn.
Yep.
Time's flying, bro.
It does, man. It really does. All of our friends have kids and wives and houses and stuff now, and we're just still out here.
Man, it's not in my playbook, man.
No.
It's just
I get it.
it's,
I
it's
know.
not for me right now.
Yeah.
Not now, you know.
No. I know. I mean, me and my girlfriend, we're gonna make a year next month, and obviously we have those conversations about kids and all that stuff. And I'm just like, look, I have to invest in my career and my dream right now, you know.
Yep.
And as I'm
Mhm.
sure people could go against what I'm saying, but it just feels like a kid would really set me back right now,
Mhm.
you know.
1,000%.
Yeah. So
And I know I mean, there's a lot that do manage it, but
you make it
It's-
work. That's
it's
what they all
tough.
say. You make it work.
you always do make it work. But setbacks will be there.
Oh yeah. Oh,
100%.
Man, I mean, you know, even just the freedom to move freely through this country or through the world, you know, that's like the more people relying on you, the more, you know, the more energy you got to spend doing other than focusing on something.
100%. Yeah. I mean, I put it to you like this. I've got a dog and I just got a cat.
Mm-hmm.
I saved this cat that was on the side of the road.
Oh yeah.
And just the dog is one thing,
Yeah.
but now having that cat, me
Mhm.
and my girlfriend are just like, it's crazy because like we have to worry about this cat. Like
Yeah.
if we go out of town, which I'm doing a lot, I'm coming here and then I'm playing shows on the weekends and stuff. And like, thank God for my mom being able to go over there.
Yeah.
But it just goes to show you, like, just like a small little animal
Yeah.
just takes up that much time and worry.
Yeah.
And, you know, us wanting to go and do stuff.
Yeah.
You know? So,
But before we get too far, I don't. You were talking about Touchette playing accordion, so we are playing like a little Cajun band, like a little.
the way that we had did it was I would get up and I would play some Alan Jackson and some Three Doors Down and stuff like that. And then we'd let Alex get up and he would do 5 or 6 songs. And we'd kind of just do that throughout the night, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my dad had a Cajun background playing bass,
Mhm.
so I grew up listening to that. So it was real easy to get Alex on and just play all the
Mhm.
Cajun songs and Zydeco songs, and whenever he was finished, he would just let him do his thing. And
Nice little
Yeah.
I
cook.
don't even know how we started that. I think I met Alex at my parents' camp. They were our neighbors at the camp. And Alex was 15 years old, man. And he
Mm.
was playing and singing, and the energy from this kid, literally this kid. I'm like,
wasn't he at the jam one day?
no. When he played at the camp, I think it was like an idea that my dad had, like, man, you should maybe hit up Alex and see if he wants to play. And sure enough, I did. And he had his uncle bringing him to every show and stuff. And
Yeah.
I mean, he was young, dude. He really
Yeah.
was. We were what, 18?
Yeah.
And
Mm.
he was literally 15
15.
years. Yeah.
Yep.
Dang.
And people, I mean, they loved him.
Yeah.
It was
Oh
amazing
yeah,
to
they
see.
ate that shit up.
Oh yeah.
He had
They still do.
He had a Cajun accent, full effect, 15 years old,
Mhm.
talking like he was 73.
Yeah.
Old soul, man, for sure.
They loved it, man.
Oh yeah.
It was awesome.
Yeah. So You know, I definitely went through my fair share of bands, but what was kind of like that next chapter after you kind of, went from your acoustic shows to your first band? What was kind of the next thing after that?
So the next thing was, um, honestly, Bradley, you were still in the band once we hired Bryce, weren't you?
Yep.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
That was our kind of the next thing that happened with the band. You know, we did our thing for a while, then we Nick wasn't able to make it to a show one night, and
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know how I found Bryce. It was through someone who knew a guitar player, and Bryce shows up, and I tell this story every time, right? He shows up and he was like working at a Jiffy Lube, I think is what it
Mm-hmm.
was.
Yeah.
And he comes straight from work. He had this big long ponytail, camouflage hat on, and
No way.
he's walking up with like the guitar case that's basically like a damn plastic bag. And he's got this small amp, and I'm just like, oh my God, this is about to be bad, dude. And you know, Bryce, what's up, y'all? How y'all doing, man?
Yeah.
And he starts setting this stuff up, and then he kind of starts like
Mm-hmm.
doing what he does. I'm like, oh, okay. And we were playing like Pride and Joy by Stevie Ray Vaughan at the time, and I said, can you play Pride and Joy? And he just kind of looks at me, and he just starts hammering it out, and we just cranked it up and started the show. And I was like, all right, cool.
Nice.
So we got Bryce in the band, and just kind of did that for a while. You know, Bryce quit twice. He went play with a guy named Matt Cada and then Chase Tyler.
Mm-hmm.
And then came back, and he was like, bro, I'm sorry for quitting. I'll never quit again.
Yeah.
And he's been here ever since.
Yeah.
So,
Wow, man. I didn't know y'all been playing that long together.
yeah. He probably started like a year after we started the band.
Yep.
Yep.
Probably 10 years.
Yeah.
Wow. Dang.
Yep.
So, I mean, yeah, in 10 years of playing shows and stuff like that, I mean, you got to learn a lot of professionalism and a lot of lessons. Like, how did you have some mentors? Did you have some people kind of helping you, or was it kind of like a lot of lessons learned on your own?
Well, honestly, Bryce was my first mentor in a sense, because when he quit us the second time, he went play for Chase Tyler, who was a very professional guy. He's been doing it for a lot longer than I have.
Mm-hmm.
And Bryce learned a lot from him. And Bryce came back and was kind of like trying to tell me how to do certain things. And I didn't want to hear it at first,
Yeah,
you
right.
know? But I realized like, okay, he knows what he's talking about.
Yeah.
And it went from like, we would get together and practice. And Bryce called me and he's like, man, we don't need to be practicing. You need to send the material to the guys, and then we need to rehearse the material. And that didn't make sense to me at first.
Yeah.
But so I had him, you know, and he was the one that kind of, at first, I would just sit up there with my acoustic and just play. And he's like, man, you have to put that guitar down, and you need to entertain this crowd. And that was a very scary thing for me at the time, dude. I don't know. I mean, I can't put my finger on a point where I was like, okay, here's how I have to entertain this crowd, because I see videos of me way back when, and I'm like, what was I doing?
Yeah.
Like, what was I doing with my hands? I don't know. And it just took reps and reps and reps of and watching people that have done it and learning from them. And the second mentor that I had was our drummer. He came in because we had Bradley. Bradley then went play on Bourbon. And then we had Brandon, my second drummer. And we were still learning each other, man. We were very young at the time. And then Dre, who had been playing with a lot of bigger groups and stuff, when he came in, he started showing me how to really navigate through a set list, as far as like not having dead time, and him taking the reins of like starting songs off. Like he would just start kind of like playing a beat, and we were like, oh, okay, like this is cool. Like now we can let the bass player groove or let the guitar player groove, and I can sit there and talk to the crowd while there's some like music behind me and stuff, you know? So it just, it all worked itself out, man. There was really not anyone that stepped in and was like, hey, here's how you need to do this. Like it was just, we kind of learned together, and like just from a little bitty things of being shown this and shown that, you figure it out, you know?
Yeah, no, it's super impressive to see like a show go from just songs in order to like a whole arranged show that's
Right.
like a nice piece. And seeing the couple shows I've seen of y'all, man, it's really entertaining.
And that's still a grind, dude. I mean, we've gotten a lot better, obviously, with like working up mashups and stuff like that. But I mean, we still have to sit down and really rehearse and really work up
Mm,
other mashups, or
mhm,
we might learn 5 new songs, and it goes back to the point of like you start the song, you finish it, you start the song, you finish it. So then we
mhm,
have to get back into the set list and be like, okay, what songs are in the same key, or what songs are
mhm,
around the same BPM
mhm,
that we can put together, you know?
mhm.
So like you never stop learning,
Yeah,
you know? It's fun. It's awesome.
yeah. Have you had any crazy um, like malfunctions or some crazy show stories for like?
Dude, that's like every show. People ask me if I get stressed before a show or nervous, and I'm like, yeah, that our gear doesn't work because it
Yeah,
happens all too often. And
yeah.
it's mainly festivals where
Mm,
we'll have, and it always happens like this. You have a great sound check,
mm-hmm.
and
Yeah.
then right before you go up,
Oh,
Yep.
I have PTSD now where I turn the mic on,
mm,
and before I go on stage, I'll just hit like a hey, hey, so I can hear myself in the house because there's been so many times where I get on stage and I
oh
start
man.
singing a song, and people are like,
Can't hear shit.
"There's no mic,
Yep.
Yeah.
nothing's coming out," and
Dang.
it's the frequencies of
Yeah.
all the wireless systems they have going
Yeah.
on. So like literally, we started implementing this a couple of weeks ago,
Mm-hmm.
where I'm like, okay, hardwire me a mic to
Mm-hmm.
where if my wireless mic is not working, I can just quickly unplug the XLR,
Mm-hmm.
plug that one in, and use the wired mic.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
like we still deal with that all the time, man.
Yeah, that's crazy. And I'm sure like the amount that you rely on technology has increased too, just like with the size of your production going up and all of that.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, everything is becoming wireless on our stage at this point. I mean, it started off with just the microphones. Now we
Mhm.
have guitars, we have in-ear mixes, and even our lights have become
Mhm.
wireless,
Yeah.
except for just the power. But all the signal is all wireless. So, I mean, like I said, it's just a matter of like what's gonna not work today.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. No, that is the scariest thing, relying on technology,
It
man.
is, man. And our bass player, he's a freak when it comes to that stuff. He
Yeah.
knows so much,
Yeah.
and it is crazy. And we're just like, we're looking at him like, Kobe, you're making this way more complicated than
Yeah.
it should be, you know? But we are so thankful and blessed to have that dude in the band, man,
Yeah.
because without him, honestly, our production would go down drastically.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean that like wholeheartedly.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah. I mean, speaking like from his point of view as another gearhead, like it's it can get addicting to like just because you know how something can work doesn't mean that you should do it. Like sometimes simpler is just so much more reliable, easy. It's like, look, at the end of the day, people are they're there for the music. Like everything fails, you have an acoustic guitar and you sing to those people, like
right,
they're gonna
right,
they're gonna appreciate that,
yeah,
but it's so easy, like especially when we were doing the Justin run.
mhm,
Like I was just starting to learn how all this stuff worked because I was like, somebody's got to learn this stuff because like we're playing with a mono track to 10,000 people, so it's like we got to kind of try and step up our game a little bit. And then it's all like, oh, now I'm putting these pieces together, and it's like just because I know something could work this way, it could just overcomplicate the whole thing and cause more us to rely on technology more than we should.
right,
And that's
right.
been something to handle.
I get very impressed when I see huge productions because
Mm-hmm.
when you start doing it yourself, you start to realize the team that it takes to consistently make that work every night.
Yep.
And that is just like it's insane to me.
Yeah.
I mean, really, like, and I've seen it happen. I went to a Chris Young show, and his whole uh I can't think of what it's called, but just the LED screen or whatever you want to
Yeah.
call it.
Projection screen,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. It went out.
Yeah.
And he
Mm.
said that he's like, look, y'all, I mean, stuff happens. It's
Yeah.
not always perfect up here,
Yeah.
So,
And that shit's expensive, man.
oh my God, yes,
Oh,
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's been the thing with us is we realize how expensive everything is.
Mm-hmm.
So we've started to try to do everything in-house
Mm-hmm.
with our own hands.
Yeah.
And we've got
Yeah.
2 guys that help us.
Mm-hmm.
Very thankful for them as well.
They run lights and
Well, they help us set up a lot. And then one guy is taking pictures the entire time while the other one's running lights or sound,
Gotcha.
depending on what needs to be provided at the time.
Wow.
But we actually just hired Marcus. Y'all know Marcus.
Oh yeah.
To run sound for us. So he's been great.
That's dope.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, man, like I said, just kind of going back to all that stuff, it's like the more things you have, it's just
Mm-hmm.
you have to. The main thing is to have guys that know what they're doing,
Yeah.
running it all. You know,
More money,
'cause-
more problems.
well,
Yeah.
yeah, because for a while we were just relying on Colby to do everything, and he just couldn't. You know, he's trying to play
Right.
bass while trying to do a sound check at the same
Yeah,
time, and
yeah.
he's like, man,
That's too stressful.
this is too much for him.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I sympathize with that.
yeah,
But and not to get too philosophical or anything, but it's similar to just like, you know, the more you place value on material things, like the more you're setting yourself up to get upset when you lose those things. And it's like I try not to get too attached to like a guitar, this or that, or just the idea that I need to, you know, put a bunch of emotional investment into some material thing, because like, you know, gear gets messed up all the time, you lose stuff, things get stolen, things break. So it's like I need more workhorse items instead of like really showy, flashy items that are just, you know, I would be crushed to lose. Cause
I'm 100% behind you, man. Like
I'm guilty of that.
I am in certain aspects. I feel like I
feel
do that
guilty.
more or less with because like right now, dude, I've had the same acoustic for the longest time, and I've had my producer Austin tell me like, you need to get you a better guitar. I'm just like, but man, this one's treated me so good, you know. Like I don't, and I beat it up.
Yeah.
I ran over it already with my truck. Like,
Like nice gear, man. It just inspires you to just want to play.
it does,
and you feel happy every time you get on the instrument.
But I will say, I tried to not use that as an excuse
Mm-hmm.
to want to get behind my instrument. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't get behind mine enough. I don't. But I don't think that I should allow myself to have to go spend money in order to want to get behind mine. You know,
I heard that. I just treat it like an investment. you
no,
know?
and I get what you're saying. I've been there. I mean,
Like a lifetime investment.
I used to get new guitars and stuff, and I mean, I'd be like, oh my god, I can't wait to go play it. You know, but man, this little Martin that I've been having, dude. Everybody tells me, it's like, dude, this thing sounds so good plugged in.
It's a
man.
Martin,
It really
bro.
does, man.
It's a Martin.
I love it. That's why I don't want to get rid of it. I feel like I'm gonna go spend thousands of dollars on something
No,
else.
don't ever sell gear.
No,
Try to
no.
collect.
Well, and that's I hold sentimental value with all my
Yeah,
stuff that I
same,
have. I mean,
same.
it's been it's seen my growth throughout the years, you know, and it's like I don't ever want to get rid of anything like that. I
Yeah,
mean,
I've sold a couple kits and it makes me sick.
what am I gonna make? $200-300 on a
Yeah,
guitar?
right.
It's not worth it, you know.
Right. Yeah. No, I mean like, and just the stories, like I still have my very first guitar, and like I still write some songs on it every now and then.
It's awesome.
And those strings are like as old as when I was learning it when I was like 5 years old. So
Yeah.
they're like, you know, almost 20 years old.
That's awesome that yours is still playable. I have mine, but like
Mhm.
literally the whole face like ripped off.
Oh no.
Yeah, I mean I still have it. It hangs in my music room.
Oh, nice.
But
Yeah.
that and I thank my parents for that because they always told me like don't get rid of that stuff.
Mhm.
You know.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm trying not to get too emotionally attached whenever like a string breaks, because one day it will break.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, oh dude, these is like the original strings.
It's awesome that you still have all that. I got 2 on mine.
You
That's
still,
awesome.
you still play it?
At home, when I'm at home, I didn't bring it to Nashville because who knows what's gonna happen out here? I don't know. But yeah, when I was living back in Burbridge, I used to play it all the time, man. But you know, it's got a bunch of signatures on it now, so like I try not to touch it too much to wipe off the signatures or nothing like that.
Yeah, I made that mistake. I had a Taylor that was gifted to me,
Mhm.
and it was signed by Faith Hill, Kenny Chesney, and Tim McGraw. And I played it so much.
yeah.
The Tim McGraw signature is like barely there.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm pretty upset about it because, I mean, I love Kenny Chesney. That's probably
Yeah.
my 2 favorite, but I love
Wow.
Tim McGraw as well too.
Yeah.
So
You're gonna be the next Kenny Chesney, bro.
I
telling
look
you.
back at some of the pictures that I have
I
that
told
Thrall
Pablo that,
Cowboy
bro.
had. I'm
I
like,
fucking
golly, I look just like Kenny Chesney.
I
Oh,
told
yeah,
him that.
dude. But
Yep.
yeah, man. I mean, I think it's just kind of crazy to see how long you've been doing this thing, and like you're making that authentic grassroots progress. And like, I think a lot of people romanticize being a musician, this or that, but I don't think a lot of people really know the work it actually takes. And I feel like you can speak on that probably more than, a lot of people. So it's just like, what are some of those sacrifices that maybe people don't really know that you have to take to really cut through and actually break through those barriers that most people give up at?
There's actually a couple, but so the two main things that I think of when I hear the word sacrifice is just obviously, you're gone on the weekends because obviously the main time you're playing is the weekends, especially at an early stage.
Even
But
now.
yeah,
You're
yeah.
right.
But I mean, even now I'm going more than I've ever been going
Right.
because I'm now started to implement trips up here, but that is
Mhm.
because of writing.
Mhm.
And that'll be the second thing that I'll touch on. But yeah, man, just time with family and friends,
Mhm.
there's a lot of things that I've had to miss out on. Um, just weekend stuff,
Mhm.
weddings and birthdays and
Yeah.
my godchild. And that'll be an issue one day when we all have kids.
Mhm.
It's like that's some of the big things that people don't think about at the very beginning of starting it. And I do think that for anyone that wants to chase music, the best advice that I always give them is, or I wouldn't call it advice, but it's just a lot easier when you start at a young age. It
Mhm.
Yep,
is
it is.
because if
Mhm.
you start at the age of 25 on up, you've got bills, you've got wife,
Mhm.
girlfriends, jobs, all this stuff happening.
Mhm.
It is very hard to drop everything or start investing in stuff that you need to make a band work.
Mhm.
Um, but the second thing that I'll say that we've done a pretty good job of learning how to perform and how the system of a band works,
Mhm.
and the booking side of things and all that stuff because I've been doing it for so long. But the part that I wish I would have started earlier is the writing. I've always
Mhm.
written songs, but nothing like I should have been doing.
Mhm.
Like I told y'all the other day, it's like 100 songs a year. That's what I
Mhm.
should have been doing
Yeah.
the
Mhm.
last, I'm 29. So, we started playing, we were 18.
Yeah.
Obviously, all those songs wouldn't have been anything great, but I'd have been getting those reps in a long
Correct.
time
Mhm.
Yep.
ago,
For sure.
Yeah.
Um, and I feel
Mhm.
like that's the weird thing about this business is that you meet
Mhm.
people that are great songwriters and that have done that for many years, but they don't know anything about the artist side. And then vice versa. And then now there's a whole new world of TikTok where
Mhm.
people are getting on there and they're singing these songs and they're great songs. And then they put them on the road and they have no idea what to do,
Yeah.
Clueless.
you know?
Yeah.
So the main thing, my advice that I would give to anybody is if you want to be a musician, an artist, a songwriter, try to put yourself in all those positions and get uncomfortable early on.
Mhm.
You don't want to have to get uncomfortable later on in your career,
Yep.
Mhm.
because that's the boat that I'm in with songwriting. And
Mhm.
I've dove headfirst into it, and I think we're doing a great job. But it's like I said, I feel like I've missed out on
Mhm.
a lot of work and progress that I could have been doing years ago.
Yeah, and I feel like it's kind of impossible to really cover all your bases and really have that foresight of like all the things you really need to be doing, because it is kind of like you've only got so much time and energy to put into certain things. And so like you said, you're going to be stronger at that live performance entertainment, and that writing is going to be the thing that you have to work on later on. That's going to be vice versa for other people.
Right.
And
Right.
like there's only so much that I can beat myself up because I'm like, man, I wish I was singing as long as I've been playing guitar. I wish I've been
Right.
doing this or that. And it's like, and even just within guitar and our own craft, like there's always going to be some kid younger who's doing it better, doing it crazy. And like, yeah, comparison's just that thief of joy, man. It's so,
Comparison is the devil in so many ways, man.
yeah.
And that goes back into social media and stuff. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, no, you're right. I mean, you can't sit and just think about the what ifs and, oh, I should have done this. It's like, look, do it, you know?
Yep.
And
Yeah.
that's what I've been telling myself. It's like, And like you said, dude, it's a time.
Mm-hmm.
I am so thankful for this opportunity to be able to come up here every other week and write, because I can honestly say that I have so much stuff going on back home that when I do get home,
Mm.
it's very hard for me to sit down and say, hey, you need to write for at least an hour today.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so being up here has really forced me to just put everything aside and focus on now, man. I've just jumped headfirst into writing for like damn near 10 hours a day at this point.
Wow.
I mean, we're doing 2 writes a day.
Wow.
So it's like,
Damn.
it's a big change for me,
Yeah.
you know? But like I said, it made me realize like this takes a lot of time.
That's pretty
Mhm.
exhausting though, man. Like I practice on average like 90 minutes, 2 hours a day, but 10 hours.
Yeah, I mean,
It's a lot of
we
brain.
start 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, and then we do 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, so almost 10 hours.
Yeah,
I
wow.
mean, just depends on how long the write goes.
Mhm.
But yeah, I mean, that is one thing that I'm proud of in a sense, not because of just the songwriting, but because another thing that I didn't really ever do is that when I'm not playing on the road, I'm not at home practicing like I should.
Mm.
So kudos to you for doing that, because I
Mm.
never did. So this songwriting stuff has really helped me to keep my voice like
Mm.
strong
Yeah.
throughout the weekdays and
Pushing
stuff,
you.
because we
Yeah.
would go and we'd sing, and I'm singing songs out of my range, losing my voice, partying,
Mhm.
and then we come on a Monday and Tuesday and I have like no voice. And it just took me a while. Like it took me coming up here to realize like,
Mm.
even though it's Monday and you have no voice, like you
Mhm.
gotta push that stuff out of you and drink water. And like by the end of a Monday, I've got my voice back in full effect. So
Mhm.
it's opened my eyes to a lot of different things,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, and I mean, I just started playing um, as a front man recently in the past couple years, and being a guitar player all my life, and then starting to become a singer, whole new perspective and appreciation for the way you have to take care of your voice and take care of yourself. How do you take care of your body and take care of your voice to kind of like almost like an athlete having to be prepared for this moment that you have to actually execute on a high level?
Bradley's laughing because he probably knows that I don't take care of myself at all.
No, I was laughing because I was in the back flexing.
Uh,
It's like you gotta like it just works out, you know.
no. I mean, that's one of the things. I don't think that has direct touch
It
with
definitely helps, bro.
the vocals. It does help.
Fitness helps.
It does.
always.
Yeah.
I will say this past year, at the start in January, I did 75 hard, so I stayed sober for 75 days.
Oh,
I
wow.
need to do it.
And that opened my eyes
Mm.
tremendously
Wow.
to just seeing like, first of all, I don't wake up feeling terrible
Mm.
in the mornings. I've gotten back on my drinking stuff, but now that I'm back doing that, I'm realizing like, wow, like being sober really was the best thing for my voice, you know?
Mm.
Um, that's the best thing that I can say. And then obviously just staying hydrated. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
it wasn't until, and I mean, everybody tells me all the time, like, drink water,
Mm-hmm.
do this, do that, vocal exercises and stuff like that. Um, but for some reason, I just like knew that was the answer, but it always went through one ear and out the other.
Yeah.
And it like literally we played a show like a week or two ago, and
Mm.
Bryce showed me a video of the lead singer from Disturbed,
Mm-hmm.
and he was saying, he's like, my entire band, like, they indulge in
Mhm.
many different things on the weekends. He's
Yeah.
like, I'm a monk out here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm staying hydrated.
Mm.
He said, I even watch my caffeine intake.
Yeah.
Mm.
And when I saw that, I'm just like,
Oh yeah.
wow. Like
Mhm.
that's what a pro does right
Yeah.
there. You know, and that it made me realize like, okay, if you want to take this seriously,
Mm.
then you've got to do what it takes.
Yeah.
Because you can't just be sitting here messing around, not taking care of yourself, and just like, oh, I'll be fine. Like you're
Mhm.
not gonna be fine, you
Yeah.
know. And I've
Mhm.
seen a lot of artists in this industry go cold turkey sober, and I
Mhm.
always was like afraid. I was like, man, how do they do that? Like, there's no way. And it is hard, bro. Like, being sober performing on stage was not easy. It
Mhm.
wasn't. But it gave me an appreciation
Mhm.
for just being in that mental state and
Mhm.
just realizing like how much alcohol tears your ass down, bro.
Mm.
You know, especially if you party like we did, years ago, man.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, we were smoking and drinking and taking Adderall and all that stuff, man. It
Yeah.
it takes a toll on you,
Mhm.
like big time.
Yeah.
And even just the way you look, dude, I want to look as young as possible for as long as possible.
Yeah.
it, man.
You know,
Absolutely.
so that's another thing too.
No,
That's it.
musicians definitely age on a different rate, man. And I've seen some musicians who age really hard, man.
Yeah.
Looking looking 70 and they're 55. And it's like I play with a bunch of old cats, when I was just getting started.
Yeah.
And so the ones who took care of themselves definitely are still playing today. And, like I don't know if you know Rodney Bernard.
That sounds very familiar.
He's the washboard player for Horace Trahant.
Okay.
But he's like 86 and still has perfect posture, stands up straight, like plays 3-hour shows with Horace. I'm like 86. I'm like, holy crap, that's crazy. And
Yeah, that's impressive.
it's seriously impressive. It's kind of freaky, honestly.
Yeah.
But yeah, it gets me fired up to think about like just the level that you can, and like just the seriousness you can take your career, and like how that's going to impact how people take you and if they take you seriously or not. Because like, if you're if you're not playing, if you're kind of letting people down, that's going to be a bad reputation. Like you're not going to actually get where you're trying to go. And I remember this quote, and said like, if you want to get paid $1 million, you got to play like $1 million.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
like that just
It spoke.
that really resonated with me. And it's like, yeah, I want to do this thing to the best. And coming out here was part of that, because I knew people out here were playing just at a different level, and I wanted to get to that level. And
Yeah.
so it's really sick to see you out here, and for all of us to be out here. It's
Yeah,
like,
man, that's been awesome. And I'll just say, like, just going back to the sobriety thing, it's a different level of respect that I get for someone when I meet them, and you
Mm.
just know that, like, especially if they're doing this business.
Mhm.
It's one thing to meet someone who's someone's dad and's got a normal job, and they don't drink, and you can just talk to them. They're always the same person.
Yeah.
But it's a different thing when you meet someone who's it just has the charisma, and you think like, oh, like they got to be like taking something or drinking,
Mhm.
and they're like, no, I'm sober, and
Yeah.
it's like,
Yeah.
wow, that's I respect that a lot, and that's the person that I want to be.
Yeah.
I'm still working on that,
Yeah.
not there yet, but I agree with you about the $1 million thing. Like that's the point that I'm trying to get to, is like,
Mhm.
because there's people watching,
Yeah.
and the minute someone sees you getting just obliterated on alcohol, they're just gonna like, first impressions are the biggest impressions, and that's just the one thing that I'm trying to really work on. Is we're all meeting a lot of people out here,
Yeah.
and you
Mhm.
just want people to know that they can rely on you as
Yeah.
a musician and as a person.
Yeah.
So
Well, especially on stage, just the disservice to the ticket buyer. And it's like, just how do you put the ticket buyer first? Like,
Yeah.
how do you put them first? Like, you show up on time, you're playing the show on time. Like, they got kids and families to go back home to. Like, they don't want to stay out any later than they have to.
Yeah.
Like, just respecting them, and it makes you a good business, entity to like be predictable, have a product that the product's consistent, and that's so hard, especially for new guys who are trying to build momentum, and they have bandmates switching in and out, and their product is changing, and then on top of that, they're getting drunk or whatever, and just not singing like what the record or what the recordings the audience are expecting the
Yeah.
product to sound
Or the drummers playing like shit.
like.
Yeah, I mean, it's all around. We've had nights where I was drunk or other band members were drunk, and like it's very obvious. People
Yeah.
see that, and I mean, I had a guy tell me like, this was during my 75 hard, and he was like, "Yeah, you played this song or whatever," and he's like, "You were pretty hammered," and I'm like, "Man,
Mm,
like you could tell." I'm
yeah.
thinking that to myself, but
Right.
I was like, wow, like
Yeah.
I didn't think I was getting that bad, but people know,
Mhm.
So nowadays, when I do have a little drink before a show, I try
Yeah.
to keep it like at a very good
Yeah.
pace and not just throwing them back,
Yeah.
because I probably have a show the next day that I got to get up and do the
Yeah.
same thing,
Yeah.
So, um,
Yeah, I've definitely been guilty of not in the right mind, playing just taking it for granted, every opportunity, and not really like not really taken full advantage of every time I've gotten on stage. And I'm trying to do that more. It's like every time I get on
Same.
stage, I want to try and like, I don't care if there's no one in that bar. Like, I want to make sure that if the rare chance that someone sees this, that's gonna change my life. Like,
Yep.
I want to seize that full opportunity.
And they're always gonna make that known too. Like
You gotta rip that shit.
many people are gonna come up to you after and say, "Man, there's nobody in here, and y'all are playing like there's a shitload of people."
Yep.
You know, that's like the best feeling in the world. Dude.
Yeah.
It really is.
Being in the metal band back home really showed me that it's like we played to nobody, man. But the music we were playing, we were forced to smash.
Yeah.
So it was pretty crazy. Like we got to crush it for nobody.
Yeah,
You
no,
know,
I mean, we
like-
literally played a show this past weekend in Oxford. The first night there was like nobody there, and I still do that, Pablo. I still just like the fun leaves me, you know, and
Yeah.
I try to like you said, I'm very blessed to be where I'm at, and y'all have played for great musicians, especially you being a young age. Bradley, when fresh out of high school, you went play in Bourbon and all this stuff, and it, yeah, man. I mean, we are blessed, and we
Absolutely.
definitely need to not take advantage of the gift that we've been given. You know,
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and you kind of mentioned something about like this like feeling of things going stale on stage or something like that. But I know like there's a lot of ups and downs in music, and you know, even just Nashville's been a huge roller coaster of like encouragement, discouragement, like, you know,
Yep.
high hopes and all this and that. But like there's always these little moments that make everything else worth it. So like what have been kind of some of those moments that like, you know, as hard as everything's been and as bad as things looked, like this one moment just made everything worth it.
man. So there's always going to be like a lot of different moments, but I don't know, man. It's tough to put my finger on that, but like I will say, there's times where you get down about, you know, just maybe the career getting a little stale, like you were saying. And that can affect you, dude, because you start playing these shows and stuff, and it just gets very repetitive, you
Yeah,
know. And you can sit here and tell yourself over and over again, like, this is an opportunity. This is something that I get to do that not many people get to do. But it just, we're human.
Yeah.
You know, it gets tough. And we've been playing a lot of covers for the last 11 years, you know. And we don't, our set list is probably have like 4 originals in it. And a very discouraging thing is when you play those originals and people don't really care.
Yeah.
Up until recently, I wrote a song for my dad, and I get to play it acoustic by myself. And like every time I've played that song since I've written it, the crowd just kind of gets quiet and listens. And like that's been a moment right there. I'm just like, this is the feeling that I want to keep chasing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like this is awesome.
That's impressive.
Yeah. So just like that one little thing, from doing something that I wasn't ever really like 100% like writing is my weak point. You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't want to write. I never did. And then I finally sit down and I write, and like you kind of start seeing like the win.
Yeah, some real validation.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like that, and then just being out here in Nashville, it's like I told you about the Whiskey Jam thing. Hitting up my manager and asking her when she thought that we would be ready for a Whiskey Jam show. And she was like, look, let's give it some time, you know. And the same day, Ward from Whiskey Jam, who I have not spoke to in years, literally contacts me.
Wow.
Like, that is nothing but God right there.
Yeah.
That is amazing to me. Telling that story, I'm just like, he's got a sense of humor, bro. He really does. He does, man.
Yeah.
He
He's
does.
pulling your coattails, bro.
Oh, yeah. He's like, oh, yeah, watch this. Like,
Yeah.
watch. So that was just like, I mean, it's like he could have texted me any other day, you know? The same day that I asked about it.
That is crazy.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
So you don't think they talked at all? You don't think she hit him up?
I don't think, dude. I really, I'm gonna ask her again because
It's so
it's that
coincidental, man.
wild, dude.
I know.
Right after we
Yeah,
spoke, like an
bro.
hour.
Wow.
I'm gonna steal her phone next time. I'm gonna go through it.
Give me that phone.
Oh my gosh, dude.
So maybe she's just trying to make me feel good. But whatever you did, Chelsea, it worked.
Yeah,
That's dope.
that's so sick, man. Yeah, I mean, there's so many people in this town. It just feels inevitable that you're playing in front of somebody who's just been waiting for you. There's just these moments where I'm just like I can't you do you can't do it all from your bedroom. Like you can't do it all through the internet. Like
You can't.
you got to go where it's at, and like it's out here, and
This
it's
is
just
the
I'm just
place,
like,
man.
holy crap! Like this is like a big, huge, uncomfortable thing that like is absolutely the best thing to go through, and it's been so good for me. Just like getting me out of my shell, getting me out of my comfort zone, and just it's like it. Even when I think like I feel like I was a pretty introverted before I came out here, and then just realized like, yo, I'm doing it. Like I'm out here talking, introducing myself, like meeting 100 people since I've been out here, more than that, and it's
Yeah,
like,
to really do it out here, you ain't got a choice.
Right.
You cannot stay in your bedroom and just hope that someone's gonna call and get you a gig.
Right.
You have to go show your face. The badass cats that are regulars, you gotta make them known like you want to be a regular. You
Right.
know, like
Right. You have to. It's the most cliche thing, but it's like just keep showing up,
Yeah.
And it's like you have to annoy these people to make them to
Low-key.
let them know, like,
Yeah.
God, dude, this kid ain't gonna stop
Yeah.
until I give him a chance. Like let me just give him a chance to get him off my back, kind of
Yeah.
thing.
yeah.
Yeah. But going back to what you were saying, I don't. You know this now, but like obviously you didn't move out here too fast.
Yeah.
If anything, should have been out here sooner, kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Same for me.
Exactly.
But yeah, dude, it's like it's the most scary, uncomfortable, beautiful thing. And I think the best part about that is like every day you're forcing yourself to do stuff that you really don't want to go do.
Yeah,
Like
right.
you want to stay home and you
Right.
want to chill.
Right.
But you go and just a little bit every time. And before you know it, you look back
Yeah.
a couple months and it's like, wow,
Yeah.
look at the progress that I've made just by doing one simple thing that I really didn't want to do.
Yeah.
And I didn't even think it was that important,
Yeah.
but it's a puzzle. You're putting all those pieces together. You're meeting those people who know this person. And
Mhm.
I mean, you can't explain it.
Yeah.
You
And
can't.
it's all consistency too.
Exactly.
You have to keep chipping away. You
that's-
can't be
Yeah.
stagnant. You can't have
Mhm.
No.
you know,
You can't
any-
just do it and then be like, oh, I'm going to stop. I'm out.
exactly.
It's,
Yeah.
no, like you have to just continue to
It's
do
like
it.
climbing a ladder. You just have to keep climbing, bro.
Mhm.
And that goes with anything in life, dude.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it all starts from just the basics of working out.
Mhm.
You want to, you got this. There's a day one,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and
Yeah, you can't start benching at 200 pounds.
no, but the more you go, in 2 months from that day you started, you're gonna look back and you'll be like,
Mhm.
I am not the same person that I was 2 months ago.
That's it,
Yeah.
man. And you got results to show, to prove it.
But
Yeah.
it's the same thing out here,
Yeah.
man. It's like before this Nashville thing started for me, I'm sitting at home and I'm just like, oh my gosh, like I got some catching up to do, and I got a lot of work to do. And if you think about the main goal at the end, it's always good to look at it and see like,
Mhm.
okay, I'm trying to get there, but let me realize that I got to do this first to get to here, to get to there.
Yeah, there's definitely many goals. That
You have to do
yeah,
that. You're gonna drive yourself crazy.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
so that's kind of what I've been telling myself is like, let's just go out here. Let me focus on one
Mhm.
right at a time.
Yeah.
I'm giving my best, and it's not always gonna happen like that. You're gonna go into rights and opportunities, whatever it is, and you're not gonna be. A lot of times, you're not gonna want to be there,
Yeah.
but you showed up.
Yeah.
And that's the best feeling in the world.
Yeah, and
you know?
showing up seems to be like really the only barrier to entry. It's like
It is.
it's really the hardest part, and once you're out there, it's really not that bad.
No, it's not. And I tell that to everybody that has to do anything that they don't want to do. I'm like,
Yeah.
look, I get it. I know the feeling. I get nervous a lot for a lot of different things.
Yeah.
And it's always the same.
Well,
You-
I wouldn't speak for everyone because you feel like that once you get there because you done the homework. Like you.
Well, what I'm saying is,
You
it's just
start like
it's
you start
always
before.
it's nowhere near as bad as you thought it was gonna be.
Correct.
That's the whole
Yeah.
thing. It's like just go,
Yeah.
just whatever it is, just do it. And when you get done, you're gonna be like, wow, that was over with quick.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
And I don't know if you listen to David Goggins,
Yeah.
but I love listening to him for that
Mhm.
because he's like, pain is temporary, and so is being uncomfortable and all this
Yeah.
stuff. Like, it's gonna be over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just go be uncomfortable. That's what he like says about his life. Is like, I force myself to do things that make me uncomfortable,
Yeah.
and that's what I try to do. Like, I mean, I can't even think of some of the things. Like, I tried out for American Idol last year.
Oh wow.
I didn't want to do it at all. I didn't get accepted or anything,
Oh
and
wow.
I don't want to do it again. But
Yeah.
I probably should, and probably should do it again and again and again and again.
Yeah.
It's like, get comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, and I mean, I think it's like you were saying, the point, just like starting is the hardest part. It's like once you have that momentum, it's much easier. And I think that was kind of my feeling of like, did I move out here too early just because there's such a higher experience level out here? There's higher like playing ability out here, but ultimately it's like it doesn't make any sense to go back to where I'm comfortable. It's like the most growth is happening where you're uncomfortable, and so it's like, yeah, this is the best time to move here.
And now's the time. Like, we're
Yeah.
young, man. We're not getting any
Yeah.
younger. And I'm sure that's all one of our fears is growing up and just realizing,
Yeah.
like, wow, I was too scared
Yeah.
to invest in myself, basically.
Yeah.
You know?
I'm starting to feel old.
Yeah.
I'm 29 and I'm feeling
I'm
old.
right there with you, Bubba. But we're still young. We're
Yeah.
good.
He's just living with 23-year-olds and some 18-year-old for
Yeah.
a minute there.
Yeah.
But
I still got that dog in me though.
I know. I saw that dog come out last night. Y'all sounded good.
Oh,
man.
yeah.
You really did.
Appreciate that, man.
Um,
It was fun.
Yeah.
That was my first time being able to play with that house band.
yeah, that was a
Yeah.
breath of fresh air for me.
Me too,
Yeah.
bro. I thank God after that.
Yeah.
That was a good one.
Yeah, it happens slowly. You know, it's just the gears turn slowly, and I can see them turning. I can see these little connections, the network getting bigger,
Yeah, it's
the little impressions here and there. I can see it happening.
I promise y'all, another year.
Mm.
We've all had a conversation about it's so hard to get into this, and for y'all to get certain things. Like, another year, y'all are gonna be like, wow, like we just stuck with it.
what's crazy is it's like we were talking to some cats that been here for quite a while when we first moved, and they were all saying it's like a 2-year town, it's a 5-year town, it's a 6-year town. Some people were saying it's a 10-year town. And with how hungry we have, the mentality, you know, and we were already meeting people in the first 2-3 months. So it was like, oh, I'm catching a blank. Shit, you turn the camera on.
Psych them out.
But
It's a 2-year town, you were saying. And
oh yeah, but like really and truly, we're 8-9 months in. It kind of is looking like a 2-year town, you know?
Yeah.
It's
you can't. That's one thing that just
it's
like he said.
expensive out here, bro.
Oh, I already know. But you can't. Comparing is the
Right.
one thing, like, you cannot use that, and you can't look at someone else's time and put it on you,
Right.
because especially in this industry, man, I've seen kids that put out one song and boom, they're already there.
It's insane.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, right. It's not.
it takes a lot of time, and everybody's on a different time limit, and it's just like, you have to just focus on what you got going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all you can do, because the minute you start worrying about, oh, this guy got this before me, and you're gonna drive yourself crazy. You're gonna hate what you're doing if you do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You cannot do that. You got to be looking at what you've accomplished over months and years, and letting your own growth motivate you to
Yeah,
keep
it's you
going.
versus you.
Yeah, that's it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think social media is crazy because like it puts these rare phenomenons like right in front of your face.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know, just because you see like 10, I was telling Brad this the other day. I was like, just because you swipe and you see like 10 drummers that are better than you, dog, there's 7 billion people in the world. Like those 10 drummers are not like, they're not close, like they're not around. Like they're just, social media is putting them right in front of your face.
Right.
But they're not close to you. Like they're not like just anywhere.
Yeah.
Bro,
I mean-
Matt Garsker probably lives 10 minutes away from here.
Well, now we came to him, you know, like we went to where
Yeah.
it's hot, but like,
yeah.
But you have to also look at and I try to do this quite often, is that I get upset about a lot of things or get discouraged. But man, there are so many people that would kill
Yeah,
to be in all of our shoes right now.
absolutely.
I mean, it's
I
true.
forget about that shit.
Yeah,
And
But
it's
if they
easy.
were in my shoes, I don't think they would want to be in my shoes. You know, like all the
But the
practicing, the sacrifice, all the shit it really took to get where I am. It's like, dude, how many people really want to put that much effort into something? You know,
that's why you're
it's,
here, though.
It's obsession.
That's
It's
why you're
straight obsession.
Yeah,
Yeah. That's the
that's
individual perspective too, though. It's like, fish in water. Like you don't know any other life. Like you can't.
That's kind of it. Yeah, you're right.
I mean, you
it's kind of like all I know. It's all I care to know. You know.
yeah, and I mean,
I love it. I just,
yeah, yeah, and I mean, but yeah, there's really and truly like, the statistics of us being able to do this is just so low. I mean, it's like
yeah.
definitely
it's
the 1%.
crazy improbable that like as animals we're allowed to live this way.
Yeah.
This is so nice. This is
No. I get what you're saying now.
like
Yeah.
like this is
It's a blessing.
it's a blessing. It's a
Yeah.
huge blessing, man.
And that's another thing we have to think about too, man. It's like, Bradley, like you were just saying it, whether it's somebody younger than you that's looking up to you, or it's somebody that's a lot older that wished they would have been obsessed with it like you were.
Mhm, yeah.
But they're working a job
Yeah.
that they hate and they
Yeah.
have to work for the rest of their lives. Look
Yeah.
at what we're doing right
Yeah,
now, bro.
right.
Look at this.
I can kind of feel both sides.
You know what I'm saying? Like, this is amazing. This is awesome, dude.
Yeah.
And life's hard no matter what. Do what you love to do.
Yeah.
Plain and simple.
Yeah.
Yeah, detailing cars back home keeps me grounded.
It does.
Like,
No, it does.
That hard labor makes me like appreciate all the hard work like my dad did.
Yeah.
The last 36,
Yeah.
37 years.
But see, you're blessed to have that too, because imagine
You're
you,
right,
you
that-
might have to go get a job somewhere and give up music for like a year.
That's another big thing. I don't think I would be playing drums if I wouldn't have had a father figure in my life. Like
Yeah.
without that father in the household, it's tough.
I think, but your
It's
dad always pushed you to play music. Your dad,
They didn't push me, but they supported.
Not push.
So like anytime I needed something, they were there.
right?
But as far as like pushing to practice, no. But they let me practice whenever I wanted. They never bitched whenever I made a bunch of noise.
Well, that's not what I'm saying.
So
I
that
don't
was
mean-
basically the support I needed. Just
Yeah.
give me my freedom, and here we are.
That's what I meant to say. Not pushed, but supported you.
So-
Like,
yeah.
they never talked you out of
correct.
coming out here.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying?
Correct.
And that's something special, because I know people where their dads were like, "Are you crazy? What are you thinking?" And
Well, my dad was concerned, of course, just financial reasons. It's like he knows it's hard,
yeah,
and he knows it's expensive. So concerns are there, but like support is there too.
but he's still gonna
if
say,
needed.
"Bradley, if that's what you want to do, you go do that." You know,
Yeah.
my dad's the same way, dude. I mean,
Yeah.
I am. My mom was always the concerned one. My dad is like, "Go give him hell."
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Pick
saying?
it up,
Like,
man.
I would, just like you said, like, I wouldn't be doing what I do without my parents,
Mhm.
because I mean, since I was at a young age, my dad just, I'm not gonna say he tried to like live through me, because he didn't, but he just like, damn, he just supported me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Anything you were into, he was into.
yeah, I mean, whether it was baseball or
Hunting.
fishing,
Fishing,
I mean, mainly this dream too, because like he could have easily been like, "Man, like, you sure you want to do that?" Like, you could easily go get a job making great money. And he was like, "Look, all I ask is that you get a degree, and then you go do whatever you want to do after that."
Yeah, that's cool.
And it's been music, obviously, but yeah, man. I mean, like, early on, like when we started the band and stuff, dude, he was just like, they didn't have money, like they weren't
Yeah,
poor
I heard that.
necessarily, but they weren't like killing it.
I was in the same boat, man.
And my dad was just like, "I got a credit card. Like, what gear you want to get? Like,
Yep.
we'll worry about this,
Damn.
And like, looking back now, it's just like, I am so blessed.
Hell yeah, dude.
That's beautiful.
It is. It's awesome, and I thank him every time, and I'm just so grateful for
Yeah.
who they are, and what they've done for me, and all aspects of life, spiritual, just everything. You made me cry on here, bro. You need to chill out.
Yeah, no, I mean, like,
Got some good people back home in Louisiana, bro.
They do.
yeah,
They do.
yeah, the love's real, man. Like, I mean, I feel like I live this like very strange life. You know what I mean? Just I grew up so blessed. My parents worked their ass off, and like my dad, my dad did not always support music by any means, but like I always had this idea that I was just gonna do what my dad did at the funeral home, just like work there, do that thing, and I was totally fine with it. Like I just wanted to be like my dad,
Right.
just wanted to do that, and like I just saw my dad just make himself so sick and miserable because of like this responsibility he put on himself to keep doing this family business and this job of working in such a dark place, and for everyone else in the family to support them, and
Yeah,
like,
that's sacrifice.
and he did it for
Sure.
36 years. Like he fucking
Shoot.
missed a lot of Saturdays because Saturdays is like the busy
At
funeral
the
day.
weekends, yeah.
Weekend funeral
Yep.
day, and like I think like man, I have such a head start and such a privilege to like go and give this thing a shot at the place that I do at this age and with this support. It's like I I, I would hate myself not to do this. And like
Right.
once I started playing with Horace Stronghold, like my dad completely started supporting me and was just like, oh, like you're actually doing the thing. Like he actually hired Rodney Bernard for him and my mom's wedding. And so I'm playing with the band that they hired for their wedding,
That's
basically.
Oh,
awesome.
that's cool. I
And
didn't know
like,
that.
and like that was kind of like a moment for them where they were like, "Oh, he's doing it."
That's
and,
awesome, man.
And ever since then, it's just been like nothing but support from them. But it just makes me so appreciative, like you know, for all the people out there who will never get that support from their parents or
It's a lot of them too.
yeah, right. And it's just like, you know, like they literally work their ass off and they're letting me live this kind of life and do this kind of thing that like just on a whim. It's like yeah, it's we're all blessed, man. It's beautiful.
I know, and like talking about this stuff, it almost makes me feel like I don't deserve it
Yeah.
compared to the next person that
Yeah.
didn't have all that support. You know,
Yeah.
because I'll be the first to say like I had a very good life, a very easy life. I never really experienced any type of struggle in my
Yeah.
life, and I might be speaking too soon, but I don't have that story that you're gonna hear
yeah.
and be like, wow, you know, like I went to high school, had a great time in high school, went to college, and then had the support of my parents where I never had to really fall flat on my face kind of
Yeah.
thing. You know, like I said, they didn't have all the money, but they were willing to use what they had to help me grow. And
Put themselves in debt. Too.
Yeah.
I mean, credit card, bro.
Yeah.
That's debt.
no,
dog.
there's a lot of people that don't have that support
Yeah.
Mhm.
that are doing it the
Yeah.
exact same way. And it's like,
Yeah.
you know, like I said, you want them to win too.
Yeah.
Not to say that we don't deserve it,
Yeah. Right.
but it's like
Yeah.
they are out here putting in
You're right.
way more work than we had to.
Well, I'm
Yeah,
trying to
right.
make it big so I can buy my people whatever, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree.
But man,
I
it's like
agree.
this industry seems like it's
Yeah.
so far fetched when it comes to actually making the money that you thought you could potentially make.
I agree with you. And
Mm.
before I had Bailey in my life, my girlfriend, I didn't believe in manifesting. I thought that was all a load of shit.
Mm.
And to a certain degree, I think that it still somewhat is, but I'm slowly realizing that the energy you put out into your own world is the energy you're going to get back.
Yeah.
You know, and
yeah, that is true.
on the smallest
sure.
little scale, we're talking about baby steps. Well, there's baby steps in believing in what you believe in, kind of thing.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So we have to, again, stop thinking about like, man, like that's so hard
Yeah.
to imagine that,
Yeah.
you know? And it's gotten to the point the last couple month or two when I see a picture of Morgan Wallen on a huge stage, instead of telling myself like, that's not really possible, I try to imagine myself on that stage,
Yeah.
you know, and
Mhm.
and let my work get me there.
Yeah.
It's
You
like
know what
it's
I'm saying?
crazy how this. Yeah, it's like I saw a TikTok on the TikTok where he got like blew up and got famous. Seemed like he was playing on a Broadway bar with
Mm.
hardly anybody in the crowd. He was singing like a karaoke song, no band behind him, just singing.
Mhm.
And bro, next thing you know, he's signing a label and he's
And the one thing that
touring
makes
the
me feel
world.
like it's not impossible is I've heard a lot of stories of people. And Joe Rogan had mentioned it, I think somebody else did, but they call it imposter syndrome,
Mhm.
where you think
I feel it
when you
hard
blow
sometimes.
up or you become famous that you don't deserve to be there. Like, I'm just a normal person.
Right.
Yep.
And but that makes me realize like it could happen to anybody.
That's
You know what I'm
that's
saying?
exactly it.
Yeah, it's like
They're not special. Like
they're not. Their work got them where they're at,
yeah.
you know. And obviously some luck
Yeah,
along the way,
absolutely.
but it's not impossible, dude.
Luck
There's a
and timing.
lot of people that make it and they're just like, bro, like
Yeah.
last year I had a job. You know what I'm saying?
Same.
It's just like
Same.
Yeah.
that keeps me going.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and you were kind of talking about it earlier, just like things going in one ear and out the other. And like we hear so much positivity or so much compliments, this and that. But it's like, to really change your perspective and change your energy from like doubt into like strong self belief, like that is really tough, but it's really powerful and it really does affect the way, even just a conversation with somebody, just the way that you have a conversation with someone, they can sense your self-doubt. Like they can sense
For sure.
like how you perceive yourself, and that can, for better or worse, affect the way that they respond to you and
Yeah.
the way they feed off your energy. And like, you have to carry yourself with the intention that
That's it, man.
this is gonna
Confidence is
work.
everything.
I agree 100%. I mean,
And I struggle with that. I mean,
we're humble though. So like
Yeah.
I feel like there's a difference. Like I've had somebody ask me the other day, like, y'all are blowing up. And I'm like, no, we're not blowing up. We're working.
It's been 11 years.
But we're getting there.
Yeah.
You know? I think there's a difference of like
Mm.
you respond a certain way, but like you let them know like I ain't stopping. Like
Right.
I'm gonna do this till something happens.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
People have a twisted view of this industry.
Yeah.
And I mean, I can go on and on about that all day about
For sure.
Yeah.
I mean, why doesn't anybody want to book you? Like Morgan Wallen want to go open up? I'm like, y'all have no idea what it
Yeah.
takes.
Right.
But
It's a lot of politics, bro.
but I
It's a
agree
lot.
with what Pablo was saying. It's like as much as you want to like, I'm not gonna say be humble, but it is being
Mhm.
humble. But like, you still have to carry yourself
Mm-hmm.
with the thought of like,
Um,
I'm nobody, but I'm somebody at the same
Right.
time.
You have to have humility, but like you
Yeah.
have to, have confidence.
Right,
You
right.
have to be about your business.
And I think there's a difference in being humble, but like you said, but also having that in your brain. Like,
Yeah.
I'm no different than the person right here,
Correct.
but I just know that I can outwork their ass.
Yeah.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think
It's gonna
that's the confidence.
And the proof is in
different,
the pudding.
You know?
Yeah. Well, I was trying to explain to someone like what it feels like to have social anxiety or something, and it's like to get over that for me as someone who thought I was a shy kid and now being out here networking, doing the thing. It's like, how do you go? Someone was asking me, how do you go to a bar by yourself? I says, you have to roll in there and just know deep down in your heart, I deserve to be here as much as anyone else. Like,
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
it's like, and that's the difference between like cockiness and just confidence is like, I deserve to be here. Like, I'm comfortable sitting right here. I don't need to, I don't need to put on an act for anybody. Like,
Right.
I'm here. Everyone else is here. There's no one else has any more rights to be here than I do.
Yeah, you don't need anyone's validation to be there.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I like that. That's cool.
Yeah.
I like that a lot. Yeah, it's funny you say that because just last night I kind of felt out of place.
Yeah,
where I
right.
was at, you know?
Yeah.
And I had to like kind of check myself. I'm like, you're acting like a bitch, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, what? I had to like get out of my own, like I had to like kind of like picture myself like
Yeah.
if you watch somebody walk into a bar and they're
Yeah.
just like kind of looking around like just kind of like looking scared. You can just tell off the
Oh, you were
jump.
surprised as fuck you walked in.
Yeah.
It's like, what the fuck, Clay? Like, what?
It's just,
Yeah.
it's you have to kind of like,
Yeah.
I try to imagine myself, like I said, like just walking in and just knowing that I deserve to be there.
Yeah,
You know,
absolutely.
obviously I don't play blues. I
Yeah,
don't know
right.
any of these people
Yeah.
and all that stuff. But
That's
like,
what helps me, knowing that no one knows me.
right.
I'm just
Yeah.
walking in, no one knows who I am.
Right.
I'm a spectator.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. I loved the confidence mainly from you because I don't know if I would have done it. But when they were looking for a drummer
Yeah.
and you were like, you want me to
I
go
was
play?
ready.
Oh, dude.
That's the most. Juju, if you watching this, thank you for smoking that cigarette outside.
Oh,
It's taken
dude.
a long time because I've been wanting to play with that house band, and it
that was awesome, dude, because
perfect.
that was the prime example of
Yes.
an opportunity is only going to come your way
Yeah.
if you make that opportunity happen.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like me, I'd have been like, no, you go play. I'm good. Like
Yeah.
I'm straight.
Absolutely.
I was basically in first, I was like hand up, basically ready to go with sticks in hand.
No, that was beautiful, dude. That was
Yeah.
awesome. Because like I said,
Yeah.
like I'm still working on that on myself. Like
Yeah.
I am the kind of guy that's like, look, I'll get up and do my job, but as far
Yeah.
as like, who wants to come do this? Like I'm not the first one to raise
Yeah.
my hand.
Yeah.
You know, and I should be.
The
Right.
city is crazy. It's like networking is one thing, like people knowing you and meeting you is cool, but like it seems like you're not getting any work unless people watch and hear you play.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm trying to get as much stage time as I possibly can.
You've always been like that though, Brad.
But-
You ain't scared to talk to me.
This guy, bro.
I don't know if it's a drummer thing. I don't know.
No, it's
No,
not.
that's
It's a
you.
thing,
That's
bro.
you, brother.
It's a you.
I'm gonna be honest though. I've always been like an extroverted person, but I've been smoking serious weed the last like 10 years, and man, it's kind of changed me. I'm kind of antisocial, so I've been on this like
Yeah.
balance of, man,
I'm
I
telling
don't want to
you.
be out, but once I'm out, I'm cool with everybody. But fuck, I kind of don't want to be there. But
I'm telling you,
if
dude,
there's music involved, I'm cool.
the 75
But it sucks.
hard thing will literally, I promise you, by the
Dude.
end of it, you'll be like,
I think what makes me not want to go to bars all the time is because I'm not a drinker. I don't really care to drink.
but it's not.
much.
It's. I
Yeah, it's
think
not
it's the
about-
smoking
It's the
that
smoking, bro.
because
Probably
I have
so.
I have buddies. Not gonna say their names who smoke a little bit too much.
Yeah.
And they are always in their head about
I
it.
mean,
Dude, it
everybody.
puts me in a vibe when I get on the kit, bro. Like I smoke right before I get on, and I feel freedom. I feel like I could just fucking go and do whatever I want on the kit. And when I play sober, I know it sounds terrible, but when I play sober, I don't feel locked in.
It's hard, dude.
I don't feel
It's
locked
hard.
in.
We've had shows as a band where, I mean, we're used to having like a drink before the show and all this
Yeah.
stuff, kind of getting right.
Yeah.
We've had shows where we didn't get to do that, and we're
Yeah.
literally like, "What the hell, dude? Like,
Yeah.
why do we sound like this?
Yeah.
We can't lock in.
It's like tense. It's like
It's just nerves.
tense.
It's just nerves. That's why drinking is such a popular thing because it takes that introvert and allows them to go out and just get
Yeah.
loose.
a little loose.
You know, it's a normal thing to drink.
for sure.
But I will say, like in this line of business that we're in, sometimes smoking just isn't the answer. You
Yeah.
know, I had to
I
kind of
think
like,
you're right.
I mean, coming out here, I haven't smoked anything since I've been out here
Yeah.
because I know I'm gonna be weird if I try to go out
Yeah.
after smoking.
Yeah.
I can't. I cannot.
Yeah.
Whereas I
Mhm.
haven't drank, I haven't smoked, no nicotine, no Adderall, no nothing. And I learned this during 75 Hard. Sober me, is the most confident person that I can be.
Yeah.
No shit.
Straight up.
100%.
100%. Yes.
I
Like,
agree.
I am like, when I went to the bar last night,
Mhm.
I didn't think about a drink once. I didn't
Yeah.
think about nothing. I was just like, I could talk to anybody right now.
Yeah.
And I think the sooner you understand that,
Mm-hmm.
the better, because it took me having to come out here to
Mhm.
the bars sober and realizing, damn, like I think I'm more fun and in a better mood when I'm sober.
Yeah.
You know, like it
Crazy.
really, like I
Yes.
didn't take drinking or Adderall, and then I came back after a couple of trips, and we had a very long weekend, and I had some Adderall on me, and so for the drive up here and for a ride, and I took it, and I was drinking, and I'm not gonna lie, dude, I didn't like it. I didn't like the way I was acting. I didn't like the way that I was like
On straight Adderall, or you were kind of like on this roller coaster of like,
a little bit of everything, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
But regardless, I did not like it, you know,
yeah, I can't fuck with Adderall. That calm down mess. Fuck that.
and just like I said, when I came back out here, I left everything at home. I'm
Mhm.
like, I don't want anything, and I felt good. I've been great. Like,
Yeah.
just there's certain things that Adderall does to you that you feel like, oh wow, I could talk to anybody on this. I
Yeah.
can do whatever.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know, man. It's just
Yeah.
I've had my time with it, and like I said, I did the 75 sober thing, and I just realized like sober me is the best me. It's
Yeah.
the most confident, you know.
Dude, I agree so hard, man, because it's like, uh, after a while, well, anyway, I took some time off from smoking and drinking, and just made me appreciate just like not not doing something that I feel like I have to do, not that I want to do, and just like, oh, just because like I used to smoke all the time, I was just like, oh, like this is just something. It's more like being a slave to the thing instead of like curating your experience.
That's exactly what it is.
And
I was gonna say that to you. Is like you're gonna have to almost like get rid of it because I'm the same way. If I have it in my house, I'm gonna smoke it.
That's what I know. That's my problem, man.
You know, and I feel like Pablo can attest to that too. It's
Yeah.
like
It's those first few days, man. It's the sleeping. Like my nightmares are dog shit,
yeah,
and then
Yeah.
digestion is pretty terrible.
your
know,
appetite and everything.
Appetite. I feel like weed is like a stimulant, bro. Like
I
It,
think it
dude,
is.
I
know,
I
like,
love to
it-
smoke weed. I
Yeah.
do,
Yeah.
but I love to smoke weed when I'm going do yard work
Right.
or when I'm going to my camp.
yeah,
Not when I have to go out and network.
Well, that's
Yeah.
what. Yeah.
No, it's a network killer.
Like
bro.
when you go
It's a-
wash trucks, you probably like this is great.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I'm a what's that? A productive stoner.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm the same way. Like I smoke.
I smoke.
It almost gives me like a little bit of anxiety
Right.
to the point where like I gotta go
gotta
do
go
something.
do something.
Yes.
Yeah, because if I sit here, I'm gonna be judging myself like
Yeah.
you pothead, you're a
I-
loser.
I feel that 1,000%.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, no, I agree with you, Pablo. Like it when I have it, I feel like I just have to do it. I don't know, it's weird.
Yeah, for
But
sure.
You're gonna what it took me, Brad, like I told you before, it was like the first day of being sober, I was pumped. I'm like, this is a challenge. I got this. I'm all
Bullshit.
for it. The second day, I was like, all right. Second day. The third day,
Yeah.
I was very short tempered,
Mm-hmm.
barely any patience. And it came down to the point where I'm like talking to T. Lou, my buddy, talking to my buddy Miles. I'm like, I'm about to smoke.
Yeah.
I can't do it. They're like,
Yeah.
don't
Yeah, just don't.
fight it. And dude, like I got over that hump that week. And like
Yeah.
the second week, the urge to want to do it went away. You still think about it.
Yeah.
And then after that second week, you're like, yep, I'm sober now.
Yeah.
Damn.
I can do it, you know?
I
I got back to the point where like after the 75 days, I was like, I don't know if I want to smoke. I'm scared
Yeah.
to smoke now,
Yeah.
you know?
I feel like I have an addictive personality.
I do.
And like, one of the things I love about David Goggins is he said something along the lines of just like, you can't have that internal debate with yourself. Like, because that debate, the longer you're having this debate, the less time that you're just like acting in the way you actually want to act. And
Yeah.
it's like, you can't give it up. You can't leave it up for debate.
You're
It's
just
like,
prolonging the.
if
the
your higher
problem.
if your higher self knows that like you want better for yourself and you know how to act, you know what the right action is, you just have to start acting in that direction and stop trying to debate with yourself,
Stop bullshitting.
because the debate is just you trying to pull yourself back into that habit.
You're letting that part of you win when, like you said, you know what you need to do.
Yeah, you know.
So.
Yeah.
But I'm literally I
It's the
still-
human in us. I mean,
Yeah.
but yeah, no, you're right. Like, that's why I left everything at home because I was literally having that same thing with myself. Like,
Yeah.
I tell myself every weekend, I'm not going to smoke a nicotine pen. And here I am
Yeah.
smoking it.
Yeah.
And it's like, how do you not have any control? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's terrible. I don't understand it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I don't know. Like I said, like I admitted it. I'm still working on myself. You know, I'm not perfect, and
My only argument is that weed never killed anyone.
Yeah, but I mean, neither does like
I'm
Yeah.
not saying I'm in the right. I do need to
Neither
quit.
just like Sharpies, but you can't just like inhale them instead of oxygen. Like you can't like. There's tons of things that don't kill you, but you can abuse. Like it's just. And I think more than anything, I just hate feeling like I don't have control.
Yeah.
That's just the worst
Yeah.
feeling to me. And I hate like why do I always feel guilty? Like if it's really not that bad, then why do I feel guilty? This guilt wouldn't be here if some part of me didn't think that this was wrong. Like
yeah.
like I'm tired of like always having the same conversation with myself like, oh, you shouldn't be doing this. It's like if I really was in the right to do it, then I wouldn't keep having this conversation.
Right.
I'm tired of the same conversation.
Right. And there's a part where I could like tell you, Brad, like, just slow down. Don't do it when you go out or whatever. But I know I'm the person that there's no gray area for me.
Yeah.
It's black or white.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's kind of why like I had to stop.
Yeah.
My buddy challenged me. He's like, you've never done anything longer than a week or two. You need to prove to yourself that you don't need anything. And I
Yeah.
did, dude. Like I was like, you know what? You're right. Like
Yeah.
I have to show myself that I can do this, because if I don't, like, I'm going to be like worried
Yeah.
that I don't have any control over my
Yeah.
Yeah.
decisions.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
it was bad, dude. Like you
Yeah.
said, Pablo, I go to bed. I'm like, all right, tomorrow I wake up. I'm not going to smoke.
Mm-hmm.
What's the first thing I did when I wake up in the morning?
Hit a ball.
And it got to that point, man. So I had to.
Making big.
And look, I'm not saying you got to quit smoking for the rest of your life, but dude, I'm telling you, just
Yeah,
give
definitely
that.
not.
Yeah, I
Give
just
that
wanna do
75
this- I
days.
just want to do it just to tell myself I did.
It'll open your
Yeah.
eyes a lot
Yeah.
to show
And I wanna
yourself.
see how high I get afterwards.
Yeah.
For real.
But it'll open your eyes a
For real.
lot, and just to be like, okay, wow, I can do this. And it was a lot easier than I thought it
Yeah.
was. It's just one of those things, like we said, it's the day one.
Yeah, I'm just thankful it's weed. I don't, I don't,
Yeah,
yeah.
I
It could
don't
be
dabble
worse.
in anything.
Yeah.
Else, so I'm cool.
So we smoking a joint after this.
We definitely
You fucking
read my mind, bro. Read my fucking mind, dude.
Don't do drugs, kids.
Oh.
Hey, speaking of, do they still have the DARE program at schools?
Oh, they better not,
I don't know.
Why not?
because nothing made me want to do drugs more.
Shut the
They
fuck.
played a video. They played a video of some dude who was high. And he's like, "What?" And like, I'm like, he looked like he's having a great time, bro. I don't know. No,
That's
I'm just
funny.
playing, but no. In all seriousness, though, like literally the only way I could quit was running out of weed and just not buying more.
Yeah.
It's like
Yep.
that's the only way I could quit, was just like literally not having access to it, and then just anytime I thought about it, just being like, I don't have money set aside for that. Like I'm not gonna, what's it called? Like not supplement, like but anyway, just you know what I mean.
But you got the money for it.
But like I don't have money for that. You know what I mean? It's like
yeah.
you have to like
Just prioritize just not buying it, basically.
yeah, and we're just like, is that where I want to put resources? Is that like you know what I mean? Is like, is that really where
Is it worth the money?
well, just think about the opportunity cost. Like those resources could have been used to further my career. It's like those resources could have been used to make better change and better progress, and like it's stunting my resources.
Yeah.
That-
There's a certain type of feeling you get when you know that you're doing everything in your power to better yourself.
Yes.
That's a great feeling.
Yeah.
Yes. And that's also the confidence of like, man, if I miss something, it doesn't knock me nearly as hard, because I know I did everything in my power to try and make it work. And if it doesn't work, that's just not my
It's
time.
nothing that I
It's
did.
nothing I did.
Yeah.
I've literally been,
I agree.
controlling as much as I could.
Yeah.
But no, man, I mean, this has been a great freaking podcast, dude.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming.
I
man.
enjoyed this, man.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah,
No,
dude.
great conversation. I'm glad you in town.
Yeah.
I love how we could just bullshit
Yeah.
in the city of Nashville. It's like we seen
Yeah.
we seen each other more here than we did back home. Just
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
Yeah.
always
now
doing
we're in the
Wicked
same-
Warrior stuff.
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
It's crazy how that works.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, I enjoyed it. Thank you for having me, Pablo.
Yeah, man. It's been great.
Yes, sir.
Well, say it seems like a good place to end it, man.
Yeah.
Let's go smoke that joint.
Bye, everybody.
Later, y'all.
Peace.